Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. You are welcome to from wherever you are connected. 148th birth anniversary of Naqshbandi Sheikh Raghuber Dayal. 148th birth anniversary of Naqshbandi Sheikh Raghuber Dayal, Chacha ji. 148 years ago, on 7th of October 1875, 2.5 years after the manifestation appearance of an encyclopedia of spiritual awakening in the form of Lalaji, as his younger brother Raghuber Dayal appeared in physical form. When a master appears, he is an encyclopedia of awakening, encyclopedia of cosmic oneness. It comes from the divine existence for the resurrection of the humanity, to infuse new life, to connect to those people who are on the path, in whom new seed of awakening can be sown. It is available only for a certain period of time to us. Like you borrow a book from the library, you can borrow it for a certain period of time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on the library rules. After the required period maximum of 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it has to return to the library. It must return. Then you can renew it for another period. You can continue it for other periods, but under different terms and conditions. The book is the same. The content is the same. The book is the same. What in case of the Divine Encyclopedia of Awakening, its physical form changes. Today it appeared, 148 years ago it appeared. It was brought down from the Divine Library as the Encyclopedia of Consciousness that we know as Raghuber Dayal. But this process of descending shall continue ere long. If you continue to look at the same book, it may not be available. You are looking at it from its outer appearance, not the inner contents. Each master appears under certain circumstances, under a certain period of time. Buddha appeared at a time, Jesus appeared another time, Holy Prophet appeared another time. They were born, they appeared in different climatic, social, political conditions, all that affected their way of operation, the languages they spoke. So, if today someone uses English language or Spanish or French or any other language or Hindi, it is not important. What is important? The inner content, the consciousness, the awareness. Chachaji was born as younger brother of Lalaji 2.5 years after. From the very beginning, his idol was his elder brother. He will imitate, do exactly what his elder brother will do. This was out of love and affection. And if love and affection does not have respect for one another, love is meaningless. Even in ordinary life, love is not a commodity. The husband must have respect for wife. Respect for what? Respect for her to be as a person. She has her own way of thinking. She has a way of likes and dislikes. You must appreciate and must respect that. You must not impose your ideas that the person has to act your way, dress your way, have the eating habits, friends your way. Same applies to the beloved for her lover. Then a bond is established, the love blossoms. Otherwise, it will remain simply an imitation. So that kind of respect was there. Understanding of each other's role was there. Chachaji, Lalaji was, in him the suluk was dominant. Suluk means when you sit down in his company in meditation, the current flows, you can keep your eyes open, but there is a total state of thoughtlessness. There is serenity. You can say a very serene music is flowing, and that presence keeps you spellbound. Thoughts do not appear. Even if they appear, the gap between the two is widening on a moment-to-moment basis. There is a state of joy or inner serenity. It may happen in between, you will drown. Then complete awareness remains. In case of Chachaji, he was a man of jazb. Jazb means absorption. The energy flows like a storm. When there is a pleasant, slow breeze is blowing, a spring season, the breeze is blowing, it has a cool effect, and the flower has blossomed, the butterflies dancing around their beloved as flower, the bees are humming to gather the pollen, to continue the process of pollination. This is the state, this kind of tawajjuh, this kind of energy flow is known as suluk. This was the essential feature of tawajjuh of Lalaji. The same was the effect of Brij Mohan Lal. At times when this was his main feature. Like for instance, a person who has attained a medical degree, he specializes in a particular field, particular discipline, cardiology, anatomy, surgery, or anything. But that does not mean he is not a medical practitioner. He cannot, he will not do the general practice, but when it comes to his own family members, he can provide that. Family members, in case of a master, is very broad. Not only the immediate husband, wife, and children, but a broader family that incorporates the friends, the disciples, the seekers. So he can do the other tawajjuh as well. But main feature of his tawajjuh or flow of energy is like the mild breeze is blowing. With the breeze, the fragrance of the flowers that has blossomed in the garden is spreading and reaching to your nostrils. The humming of the birds, the sound of the butterflies in flight, in dance, can reach your ears if you are sensitive enough. But in case of this jazb, it is like a storm, like a hurricane of energy, hurricane of tawajjuh that has come in, hurricane of tawajjuh so strong, like if the breeze is blowing gently, you don't need to take care of tighten up your clothes or anything, tighten up your garb, the ladies things that they use, a scarf, the wooden, the shawl or anything. But in case of Chachaji, the more you try to wrap, the more it wants to unravel. It is beyond your control. You feel as if somebody has put a blanket over you and give you a good beating. That kind of effect that the body feels. And along with that, there is a tremendous warmth. I recall during the spring season, the spiritual function used to take place at the shrine of Chachaji in Kanpur. So it is a cold breeze, the place was open, the shrine was open from all the sides. So breeze is blowing from all sides, north to east, east to west, and like that. You are sitting down, wrapped in a blanket, slowly, and then you got into such an intense meditative state that you do not even turn your sides. And you start sitting down in meditation, because there used to be one night the Shanti part. So you can sit down on your own, then by rotation people will sit in Shanti part, means peace recitation. So they may use a rosary, or they just do and start counting, saying Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. This is Shanti part. And after some time you have to remove the blanket. The heat is intense. This is the effect of tawajjuh of Chachaji. That was a salient feature of his energy field. And you are sitting down, and sometimes you are not even aware of time, how much time has elapsed. So I found that in the night, to sit down at that shrine and remain in meditation. So sometimes sporadically there may be other persons sitting there also, but it is one-to-one connection. It is like the picture of The Picasso's painting, that's a beautiful painting of the woman hanging on the wall, and whosoever looks at the picture thinks, feels that the woman is looking at me and is smiling. That kind of a cosmic smile, that kind of a cosmic effect is there in his tawajjuh. He often used to say, the Hindi, that is, his ways and means were very simple, very simple. Techniques that he devised in order to soften your heart center. One of his disciples, he complained, he said, I have some problem, I don't have the interest in meditation. When I sit down in meditation, all kind of thoughts, ugly thoughts that I could never imagine that they come. So I don't know if I should continue meditation. Chachaji said, yes, my situation is the same. When I take a shower and I use the soap, all kind of smoke and bad smell comes out of the body. So I'm thinking not to use the soap. The person said, what did you say? But the soap is used for removing the muck and the shower and all those things. He said, yes, the same way. Meditation is this soap, is the body wash. It is the inner wash. Meditation is inner wash for cleaning your body from inner, your mind, your thought process and everything. Such a simple method. How could you explain that process? So someone said, Chacha, I don't feel in, they used to call him out of love, no G. When you are in formality, you say Chacha Ji. When you are in anger with your spouse, you call her with Miss so and so, Mr. Husband. Otherwise, you call him by a very short nickname. Very short. That their respect is very intense. You do not say that husband G or Mr. or in a totally so. They used to call him Chacha. And somebody said Chacha Hamya, whosoever it is. If it is a Pandit, Ha Pandit Bolo, yes, tell me what you want to say. So he said, Chacha, yes Pandit, I find that I don't get interest in meditation. The mind remains always disturbed. He said, Pandit, my situation is exactly like you. Huh? Chacha, your position is like that? You don't have the interest in meditation. I don't have interest in worldly activities. Totally different. Totally different. I don't have interest in worldly activities. Chacha, but that has to be done. Because you have a body, you have to perform certain actions, you have to work, you have to do this. Yes, Mia, you are right, Pandit. So I think I should take interest in worldly things also. Keeping the place clean and neat and tidy, put on the lights, put off the light, keep my bed properly made. He said, yes. He said, Pandit, the same way you have to take care of your inner life. Whether you have an interest or not, I don't have interest, but you tell me that I have to eat. I have to take a shower. I have to clean my place. I have to do all these things knowingly. Then when you start, so Chacha, so Pandit, should I do that? Yes, Chacha, that you're supposed to do. The person completely forgot. Now he has become the Guru. Oh, yes, Pandit, you are right. You should do that. Pandit, what was your question? You had a question. Chacha, I don't feel interested in meditation. But you just tell me, and I told you I don't have an interest in the worldly activities, but you convinced me to do that. So does it not apply to you? What a simple method, simple way of saying things, doing things. Somebody said, I have some problem. So Chacha said, yeah, is a, the very common word. Every country has a certain the words that we use. Like in Trinidad, we say, anybody say, yeah man. In your country, France, Germany, America, so in Trinidad we say also, yes boy, or yeah man. So in that way, in America also we use slang to address to someone. In other countries I do not know that much. So he used to call the people because that was Islamic influence. So he said, Hamya, yes, mister, yes, gentleman, yes, son. So sometimes you say, come on, son. Instead of saying that, the calling him by name. Out of love, you do not, you call him by a short nickname. A short nickname. And that shows the intimate bond between master and disciple. So master creates the opportunity for the disciple to use the intense bond. He said, Mia, you do a prayer, puja. In the evening, when sun is setting, the Sandhya Kal or dusk, you take a shower. You choose a nice corner of the house, and in that corner, you put on your meditation mat, light an incense, sit down on that, and start crying loudly, heart out, cry your heart out. Sometimes somebody tells me, I cry out my eyes. I cry out my eyes, because you are using an English word. So in Hindi it is used, dahade maar maar karke rona. The very loudly. When you are speaking out of that, it is a totally a different kind of effect. You are using the words, you are using the expression of crying, and that is a beautiful expression. Oh God, you will be. Instead of saying the sound is coming in the form of words. Words are lamenting, and the words are being spoken, overflowing out of you as a lament, not just the sound. The crying is a totally different thing when words are overflowing as a lament. So it is a different. So do it that way. So one day the children and the family members thought that he may have remembered a past event or friend or something, or remembered somebody, so that's why he's crying. So did not say anything. Second day he did the same thing. So they just leave it there. Third day, what is this? In India, crying at the dusk time is considered as a bad omen. What is this? He said, this is my puja. My master tell me to do this puja. What kind of puja is this? So the family members went to complain it to Lalaji. He said, your younger brother Chacha told my father to do this prayer. Chacha ji, the love that was in him for his elder brother Raghuber Dayal, love. And Lalaji has respect for him. Respect for that love that he has manifested through his life, manifested through him, for Lalaji. So in response to that, Lalaji has regard, respect, and appreciation, whatever word you can call it. And he used to wear dhoti, then kurta. So Chachaji Lalaji will call Nanne loudly, and then they get, Bhaiya has called, my brother has called. What did I do wrong? And the dhoti when you're putting on, there is a piece that comes from the front, goes under the arms, under the legs, and is stuck behind at the waist level. So that is coming out. And you stood up, Jesus, Huzur Wala, Jesus, in a very humble manner, as a manner of supplication, you stood up, Lalaji. Ma'am, what kind of puja you tell this man? They are complaining that every evening this person starts, the crying, and that is a bad omen. So he said, Hazrat, in a supplication manner, innocence and supplication you cannot do unless there is an innocence in him. Lala Chachaji was an embodiment of innocence. When Jesus said, one who is childlike, whose innocence is childlike, he can enter the kingdom of my Father. So that innocence I have seen in Chachaji. In front, even when he is speaking. Another person, one of his disciples, he had a grey beard, and back bent. Anytime when you do, like say sometimes the children, like they do this kind of a gesture out of innocence. This kind of a, when you have children have done any mistake. So this is the kind of a gesture he used to do that. So he said, why did you tell him that? He said, Hazrat, his heart was rocked like a stone, and that needed to be softened. In order to soften his heart, he had to cry. So this was a technique, how to soften the heart of an individual who is, and the heart has to be mellow and soft in order for it to be ready to receive the energy. But if it is a heart like a stone, how can you, emotions can flow through that. Energy cannot flow, it has to be softened, it has to be mellow. That was the nature. Chachaji came back from there. He told the mayor, out of innocence, Mayor, you cried and you make me cry also. Chacha, how? You cried and your family members complained to Bhaiya, and he scolded me and I had to cry that. Innocence. Stop crying now. It has been enough. So this is here, crying, what it does. Crying creates the emotional disturbance. Now all those so-called, the official biographer, official inheritor of the status of the master, descendant of Chachaji, cannot explain all that there. They can simply tell you that I am this, and they will be taking the words of the master verbatim. They will keep on like a parrot narration. Juttal khele sachal hoy, sachal khele parlay koi, sachal khele parlay hoy, sachal khele birlay koi. This was oft-used sentence of Chachaji. I'll come back to that. So, crying clears the emotional disturbance and nasal decongestion. If your nose is clogged and you cry your heart out, creates it is like emotions, suppressed emotions, putrefied emotions are flowing out of you. But this is not enough. The other part is, this is catharsis. The emotions flowing out of you, the putrefied, the rotten emotions which are no need, they are simply creating the bad odor, and they need to be cleared from your system. So crying does that. But after that, after you have taken a shower, the mock has been removed, you rubbed it off, and so it has been the catharsis. Now you have to do the deodorant, perfume, and everything. And what is that? That is hammering your solar plexus. Laughter. When you laugh, your belly hurts. And this is what we say, don't make me laugh, my belly hurts. And too much laughter leads you crying, because both are interrelated. And too much crying leads you to laughter. A person who is crying and crying and crying, the mad people, what they do? They're crying and then they burst into laughter. They burst into laughter, they start from laughter, end up in crying. So it hammers the solar plexus, the center which generates energy, which conserves the energy. It connects you to cosmic energy. Cosmic energy field of the masters, Alam-e-Ghaib. And you are connected to your mother through your umbilical cord, which connects to the solar plexus, your belly button. So now through laughter you are activating that energy. First the energy has to be generated, then conserved, then distributed. So these two things happen there. Catharsis, energy is generated, then you have to enter into silence to complete the process. Crying, laughter, and silence. These are the three dimensions, three phases of the process of transformation. Just as Satyam Shivam Sundaram, or the Satyam Shivam Sundaram, Sat Chit Anand, Sat Truth. When you have known truth, then comes consciousness. Consciousness is the movement. Chit, Sat Chit, movement. When you have known truth, can you deny that? Can you not live your life guided by that truth? You know electricity is truth, and when you do the electricity yoga, it gives you a shock. Would you put your finger into it? Or you will go with this understanding, that is Chit. Sat, Chit and Anand. Out of these two, the communion between Sat and Chit, Anand is born. Anand is the offspring of truth and consciousness. So in the same way, the crying and laughter, one is out of this conjugal relationship, bliss is born. The silence is born. Silence is another name of bliss or harmony or oneness. So Osho has introduced this as mystic rose. Rose is a flower. When it blossoms, it has two things. Its beauty is magnificent. Its fragrance is pleasant. So mystic is mystical. So this is mystical. When this flower blossoms into you, its beauty and fragrance manifests all around. Chachaji introduced this. This is the meaning of that particular incident when he told his disciple to cry. A birth anniversary or the anniversary of his samadhi is a day for reflection, for introspection on his teachings, his way of manners, not a parrot repetition. Parrot can repeat the verses of Bhagavad Gita one after the other in a chronological order. without any fail, but he does not understand. Be the one who can understand the message of the masters. He used to say, Juttal khele. Juttal means false. Play the game of falsehood. Play the game of falsehood. If you pretend that you are mad, ultimately you will become mad. Because you are pretending. Whatsoever you pretend means again and again you practice that. You are continuously repeating that action. So ultimately that action sinks into your consciousness. When it sinks into your consciousness, it reflects. So, Juttal khele, you are playing the game of falsehood, imitation. Sachal means truth. Ultimately, man becomes what one pretends to be. If you pretend to be, but you have to make an effort for that. Once you have started the first step, then you have put your hand into a bucket full of water, and the gap is created, the hole is created. The moment you pull out your hand, all of a sudden from all the sides, the water will reach to fill that gap. So existence comes to support you in myriad ways for fulfillment of that. Juttal khele sachal hoye. If they play the game of falsehood, that becomes a reality. But if you play the game of truth, awakening, then what will happen? That unwanted will vanish, die. Sachal khele parlay hoy. Parlay means the day of judgment, or the end of the world. So you have a particular kind of a world, if you continue to remain in meditation, constantly introspecting on the words of the Master, so all that has been around you, your way of life, up to now, before you met the Master, it starts coming to an end. It comes the doomsday for that. It starts disappearing as if it never existed. So, Juttal khele sachal hoy, sachal khele parlay hoy. Play the game of consciousness, play the game of awakening. All that is unwanted will vanish. Rarely. Sachal khele birla koi. Birla means a rare. Plays the game of truth, uses awakening as the game, play. How? You are doing an action, you can do it consciously, you can do it unconsciously. When you are doing it consciously, you are playing the game of Sachal, awakening. You are talking, it is out of awareness. You are cooking, you are entering into a sex relationship, you are entering into it consciously. Rarely does a person enter. When there is how many times you do the food as your passion, out of your love. You cook your food out of compulsion, the need for the body. You enter into sex relations out of the need of the body. The body is field stimulation. You feel that it is important. If the wife feels that if I do not allow him to enter into the sex relationship, my husband may go with someone else, wife may find someone else. So out of compulsion, not out of awakening, that through this I will attain to bliss, I will attain to that which cannot be attained by ordinary consciousness, then that a rare person does it. Rare person enters into action out of total awareness. And the moment one attains to with total awareness, life is transformed. So this encyclopedia is given to us for a certain period of time. So lucky are those who spend a moment or two, or can dedicate their entire awakening, not life, entire awakening to that particular moment. एक बार जो तूने पुकारा था मुझे, ताज़ीज़ मेरे मन में बजती रही शहनाई. एक बार जो तूने पुकारा था मुझे, ताज़ीज़ मेरे मन में बजती रही शहनाई. Once you have called me lovingly, lovingly means you have called me by such a name that I have never heard. That sound continues to linger in my ears like the dissolving notes of an enchanting melody. Like the dissolving, the music when it is fading, it starts with loud, then it starts fading, dissolves. Fading or dissolving notes of an enchanting melody. Such is this sound. Such, you see the scene appearing on the screen and then it start fading. That's how that continues to that particular image. हर वक्त तसव्वुर है उस भोली तस्वीर का. हर वक्त तसव्वुर है उस भोली तस्वीर का, जिसकी निगाह मस्त ने मस्ताना बना दिया. जिसकी निगाह मस्त ने मस्ताना बना दिया. होशियार तो बहुत थे, दीवाना बना दिया. हर वक्त तसव्वुर है उस भोली. तसव्वुर means remembrance, image. Bholi, that innocent image constantly dwells in my eyes. It never fades away. The sound never fades away from my ears. हर वक्त तसव्वुर है उस भोली तस्वीर का. Constantly I think of, I see, visualize that image. Constantly I listen to that sound. जिसकी निगाह मस्त ने, whose intoxicated vision, intoxicated eyes has made me Divana means infatuation is not the correct word, but that happens. That you are infatuated by that presence. दीवाना बना दिया. होशियार तो बहुत थे. I was very wise, very cunning, that I will never fall in love with anyone. No one can affect me. I was never been of that time. होशियार तो बहुत थे, दीवाना बना दिया. I was very wise, cunning, yet still I got trapped into his presence. Such is the effect of the Master. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. If in that way anger is falsehood, hatred is false, violence is false because it is outcome of a interaction between something, so it is false. It can be transformed. This sutra I'll take in tomorrow's session. As usual, this week also, for this week again, the Monday will be discontinued, but from next week, the Mondays will continue as usual. Also, I have started a live They know it is a recorded session. This is live streaming, and that session is recorded. It is recorded live, then a video is presented, Tao overflows. The third recording was already done this morning. The expressing the nature of actions, karma. And then this will continue until few days more. After that, this recording will be done on Mondays. So it takes a lot of time to edit the video and create a video. This live streaming is totally different. So those two videos are already available. Mind is interaction between ego and time, and meditation is interplay between timelessness and egolessness. Yesterday's talk was mindlessness, the egolessness and timelessness. Today's talk is centering around actions, the understanding the nature of action. Tomorrow talk will center around transcendence, how to transcend beyond the actions. Only this much for this morning. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.